Welcome to our autumn edition of Trees in Jephson Gardens. I'm standing beside the Elephant Walk and the Suspension Bridge. The Elephant Walk illustrated by wonderful murals these days. The Suspension Bridge was designed by William de Normanville, the borough engineer, and opened in 1903, and it's modelled on the Albert Bridge in London. So I've walked over the Suspension Bridge and turned right into the gardens proper, and here I am standing in front of a magnificent Japanese oak. Oak, you say? Yes, many oaks are evergreen. This, the Japanese oak, we've already met the holm oak in the very first video we did, 6 trees of Jephson Gardens. And this is a magnificent specimen. It is reputed to be one of the best in the country. Comes from Japan, Mongolia and Korea, and the wood is used for practice weapons for Japanese martial arts. Now, you may not believe me that it's an oak, but here are some acorns just to prove. They're tiny, but they are quite acorn-like. I've moved up towards the Avery Cafe and am now standing next to this magnificent weeping beech. There are lots of beeches in Jephson Gardens. There's a beech next door and there's a magnificent copper beech just a bit further down towards the pump rooms. There's also a cutleaf beech on the top lawn. But back to the weeping beech, it was found as a sport in an English country park. A copper beech was found many years ago and introduced into this country in about 1690. So they've been going for a long time. You'll recognise beeches by their golden colour at this time of year, and they often leave their leaves for a long time. They may still be there in the spring, and they're long, narrow buds and tall, silvery trunks. Next to the aviary is what must be one of the favourite trees for children in Jephson Gardens, with its wonderful curving branches. It's a western red cedar. Its Latin name is a Thuja plicata because the leaves look as if they're plaited. Also, the way to tell a western red cedar is to take a leaf, squeeze it, and it should smell of pineapple. It comes from the eastern coast of North America, where it is revered as being a very strong, very tall tree. In fact, it's said that if you stand against its trunk, you will imbue some of its strength. The bark is used for rope making and flattened out for cloth as well, but the native peoples who used it were very careful not to take too much at any one time. Although it's called red cedar, it's not actually a true cedar. But like cedar trees, it has properties which repel insects. It's a very prized soft wood because it is very strong and it doesn't warp. So just behind the western red cedar is this small tree, which in the autumn has wonderful yellow leaves. If you pick up a leaf, a wonderful brownish leaf, and smell it, it smells of toffee apples, which is what gives this tree its name. It's a toffee apple tree or a gingerbread tree. Proper name, a katsura, and it comes from China and Japan. I'm on the top lawn, and behind me are 2 sweetgum trees. The foreground one turning wonderful yellow, and behind it the tallest sweetgum tree in Warwickshire, which is now turning deep red. Sweetgum or liquid amber. Sweetgum because it's native to Western Mediterranean, Southeast Asia and Northeast America, and over in the States the sap was used as chewing gum. It's sweet and resinous when it hardens. The sweet gum is another very, very old tree, very old species. In fact, wonderful fossils have been found of its leaves. Its fruit are small, prickly balls, which apparently are a real nuisance in the States when they all fall on the pavements together. Not so here. Its wood is used for furniture making and baskets. At the top end of the top lawn is a Chinese water elm, magnificent in the autumn with its red leaves. Comes from eastern China, Korea and Japan. And in Korea, since ancient times, it has been veneered as a symbol of protection for villages. So you will find it planted in the centre of ancient villages. Can live to a very, very great age, 1,000 years. The wood is used for drums in Japan. This is the last of our 4 films showing trees in Jephson Gardens through the season. We hope you've enjoyed them. And if it sparked an interest in trees, can I just recommend the Collins book of British trees, which will help you identify many of the ones here and on the streets and elsewhere. Thanks as always to Warwick District Council's Green Spaces team, who help keep the gardens in such a wonderful state. Thank you.